Why is the most dangerous rivalry in the world one that almost nobody in the West is talking about? Well, most of the world's attention is currently centered around Ukraine. It turns out that one of the most dangerous standoffs in the world is taking place over 2,400 miles away from Donbass on the border between India and Pakistan. So how on earth did these two South Asian countries develop such a deep-seated animosity toward one another? And what exactly makes the standoff between India and Pakistan more dangerous than any other rivalry in the world today? In order to answer that question, you actually have to travel back to before India and Pakistan even existed. In July 1947, the UK Parliament decided to finally pull out of the British Raj. The decolonization of one of the largest colonies on Earth would naturally be a complicated and messy process, especially because British rule didn't extend over a single piece of territory, but rather one massive crown colony and more than 500 princely states. So, how long did the British government set aside to accomplish this monumental and difficult task? 1 month. That's right. After drawing a dividing line between the mostly Muslim West and Hindu East, the new nations of Pakistan and India were born on August 14th and August 15th, respectively. But far from being a smooth and orderly transition, this partition of the world's largest colony went down as one of the most chaotic bureaucratic nightmares in history. The entire Army, Navy, and Air Force, as well as the colony's civil service system, its treasury, and even the rail network were hastily divided between these two countries. All the while, more than 15 million people were forced to move out of fear of being caught on the wrong side of the border. In the span of just a few months, as many as 1 million people were killed from this displacement. Meanwhile, the majority of the Raj's old princely states ended up joining one of the two countries. And here's where the most dangerous rivalry takes root. Because there was one state on the border of both India and Pakistan that didn't choose to join either country. And that state is Kashmir. Within 2 months of their joint independence, India and Pakistan were at war over Kashmir. After more than a year of bloody fighting, control of the state was divided between the two, but the end of the war didn't exactly bring about peace. In 1965, the two went to war again. In 1971, they fought for a third time. And in the 1980s, the two even went to war again over control of a single glacier in Kashmir. Perpetual conflict in the form of 6 full-scale wars and 7 intense border clashes certainly doesn't help, as each new generation now has fresh grievances in the forms of dead soldiers, family members, and elevated threats. But there's something more, because by 1998, both India and Pakistan possess nuclear arsenals. And this has led to something of a paradoxical situation. But it also ensures that if one side ever does decide to push the button, there may not be much left to fight over when it's all said and done. And this is once again a demonstration of what happens when foreign powers draw lines that might make sense for them, but don't make sense for the people that actually have to live when the colonial power gets to leave.